Hello? Whoa, that was loud. Hello?
Are we started?
We're started.
Thanks for the warning.
No warning. But your phone was really loud. And okay, quick disclaimer before we get started. This episode is taking place in the kitchen. So you're going to hear a lot of bumps and maybe some humming in the background.
I mean, I don't have my elbows on the table, which,
maybe
is
me.
good manners. So yeah, I think
maybe
it is.
it's me. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome to episode 6 of Gearing Up. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Greg.
Okay, do we need to introduce ourselves in every episode?
I don't know. Maybe for the first 10.
Okay.
I'm Greg.
April.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Talked over you. We didn't say the same thing. Anyways, you are
April.
the co-host.
Oh yes, excuse me. I'm the co-host.
You're excused, dear. You're excused. Hello, welcome to episode 6 of Gearing Up. This is a photos episode.
Yeah, I was calculating that.
Yeah. Last episode was gear, so we're doing photos.
I don't know anything about what we're doing this time.
You rarely do, and I think that's a good thing. I think it tends to work out best.
Yeah, so tell me.
So we're going to talk about photos.
What about it?
Shocker.
I don't know anything about photos.
That's okay. That's good. Anyways, I have my notes, so I'm going to pull those up. I haven't
Why do you
used
say
notes.
anyways like I was interrupting you? Anyways,
Well, I don't know.
anyways.
I don't know. Yeah, that was rude. Sorry. Okay, so...
You asked me... You asked me to call you out on it.
No,
so.
I know, and that's fine. So, in case you missed it, make sure you check out episodes 1 through 5. Please listen closely to episode 5. We started a giveaway. We're going to run that giveaway through this week, and then when we record the next episode...
Have you had anybody enter?
In a week. I don't know that I have.
Aww.
Yeah, it hasn't been... I think it's because I haven't, mentioned what the prize is.
Oh.
But I'd like to mention that now.
Okay. So listen up, everybody.
Oh, okay, that was weird. So for the prize, I'm going to give away a bag of EDC Coffee Co. coffee.
I'm going to enter.
I'm going to give away...
Not really.
Some product from Garrett Brothers Beard Co.
Oh, I don't need that.
I got some beard oil and some lip balm and maybe a beard comb. I can't remember if I have
Get your
one.
crusty lips under control.
Mm-hmm. Or your wiry beard. But yeah, so it'll be a bag of EDC Coffee Co. coffee, some Garrett Brothers Beard Co. stuff, and then I may throw in some other random things, but it'll be a good haul. So I'll
now,
post
the
about that.
coffee, is it's already ground?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is ground, yeah.
Does he sell whole beans?
Mm-hmm. He does.
Oh, he does? Oh, okay.
And he's working on K-Cups, apparently. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I think I am. I think
well,
it's
you
okay.
better edit that out if not.
Yeah. I think it's okay.
Wow, that's cool.
If he's not, he should be. Wink, wink. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways. It's been a little while since we've talked, so I don't know if he actually is or not for sure, but I know that that's always been kind of a plan. So
I like his coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into the photos topic, I do want to give a quick shout out to this week's sponsor. We have a sponsor.
You got it together.
Our first sponsored episode. This week's sponsor is Black Cross Leather. I am a huge fan of Black Cross Leather. If you'd like to know more about them, stay tuned. In the middle of the episode, we will have a quick little rundown of what Black Cross Leather is
so you
and
keep
all
listening.
of that stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And without any further ado, let's just get into photos. So today I wanted to talk about photo editing.
Okay.
So I figure for me that's enough. It's a good enough topic that I can at least discuss in kind of a normal level. And
so I mean, basically, I can just leave now.
No,
I don't know anything about it.
No. You'll be involved. So, anyways, I wanted to talk about editing. I wanted to talk about editing from a mobile perspective, from what I do when I take, with my SLR or my mirrorless, and what I use to edit them. Some of my tips, I guess, and then we'll go from there. See where it takes us.
Okay.
Cool. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is what softwares do I use to edit. And if you missed the last photos episode, I talked about what gear I use, and I mentioned that I use my phone for like 99% of what I take, which is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of my editing takes place on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have two things that I use. The first one is an app called Pixelmator.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had the Mac app. It's like a Photoshop dupe, but it's a pretty capable one, and it's way cheap too. I think the Mac app was like $30, $40, and then the app for but that's, keep in mind that like Photoshop is like $10 a month at the lowest.
Oh.
And there is no option to buy it outright.
Oh, that's silly.
So for like $30, you get something that's pretty functional. I mean, I've used it for a little over a year, or I had used it. I just recently got the Adobe Creative Cloud thanks to work. So now I'm able to use Photoshop, but on my phone.
You work bought that, but
We'll get there. We'll get there. I use it for work.
Well, I know.
But I also use my personal computer for work. So anyways, so on my phone, I use Pixelmator for heavier editing. That's if I like need to do like some spot removal or anything a little bit more intense. And when I say more intense, I mean I really do use it just for spot removal. If I take a picture and there's like some dust or
when we take family photos and you need to make me look prettier.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just talking about on my phone.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that on my phone.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that, period, but certainly not on my phone. But anyways, Pixelmator is like a heavier app that you can use to edit. You can do spot correction and stuff like that, do retouching and all that. So it's a little bit more in depth. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but works really, really well. Like I said, if I take a picture and there's a blade of grass out of place or a leaf or something in the way, I can go in and do a quick touch up and get it out of the way. Odds are you've seen a picture on my feed that's been edited with Pixelmator that had a smudge somewhere or a little speck of dust that I got rid of. It's really popular. It's I think it's like $5. I think you can catch it on sale though. I'm 99% sure I caught it on sale for like $1.
For what?
For Pixelmator.
I thought you said it was 30.
For my phone. No, that's the one on the computer. We're just talking about my phone right now.
Excuse
We haven't gotten to my computer yet.
Okay.
So on my phone, I use Pixelmator for heavier editing. I think it's $4.99 regular. That's on iPhone. I don't know about Android. I'm sorry, Android folks.
I know you used to be into Android.
I'm just sorry that you're still using it. Not that you don't have an app recommendation. I'm just kidding. I'm over the Android versus Apple debate. I don't really care anymore, but I do like my iPhone. But yeah, Pixelmator's great. I've used it for a little while now, and like I said, for a little bit heavier editing on the phone, real quick, real easy, it's great. And then for day-to-day editing and just everyday pictures, I usually use the stock camera on my phone, and then I pull them into Instagram, and I use Instagram's editing tools. I mentioned this in the last photos episode, but Instagram has some really good editing tools. Mm-hmm. So I do use that from time to time as well. When you take pictures, do you ever do any like filtering or touching up or anything?
Yeah.
You do? Like you use filters or what?
Yeah.
Do you know what your favorite filter is?
No, I don't have a favorite. I just use whatever looks good. I'm
trying to think of what mine is called. My favorite filter.
It depends. Depends on how the lighting and stuff was.
I think Brooklyn, the filter called Brooklyn, it looks good on any picture regardless. I feel like that's like my go-to filter if I'm really lazy and don't want to do any editing. I just tap the Brooklyn filter and it does really good. Yeah, so go ahead.
I haven't really posted a lot recently to edit.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, if you're looking for some editing tools, I highly recommend checking out Pixelmator. One thing that I do on my pictures 70 to 75% of the time is I do watermark my pictures. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Have you seen my watermark?
70 to 75? I thought it was on like every picture.
No, it's not on every one. I've been trying to do it more lately, but sometimes it just takes away from it and looks ugly. And so I cut it out, and sometimes I just throw it down in the corner. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
You think it looks cool? Does it add a little bit of professionality?
Yeah.
Does it look professional?
And yeah.
You like it?
Uh-huh.
Because there's like a split in the community. Some people really like it, and some people really hate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a controversial topic.
I wouldn't say it's controversial. I think there's people that really think it's obnoxious.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I can understand that it can be slightly pretentious to think that you need to watermark, but that's just understanding, like, that's some people's thought process. But and it's not a I own all my pictures thing. I know I own my pictures and I have them, and it is what it is. And they're out there on the internet, and if
you
somebody's
just use it as like an advertisement type thing.
Well, okay, so there's two reasons I watermark. I wanted to talk about why I watermark to some extent because I want to defend it in one way or another. First off, to get back to what I use an app called Fonto, I think is what it is. Phonto.
Fonto.
Fonto. Maybe it's Fonto.
Unless
Fonto.
it's Ponto.
No, it's definitely... I think it's Fonto. I think now I feel like an idiot for being so like Fonto. Fonto. No, but I use Fonto for watermarks.
Ponto.
Okay, I don't think that's how it sounds. But I use that for watermarks. It's pretty versatile. I'm sure it can do other things, but it was recommended to me by someone that watermarks because I message them and say, hey, what do you use? And little bit of a learning curve, kind of annoying for a little while, but once you figure it out, it works really well. You can curve the text really easily, and you can adjust the shape and size and opacity and all that stuff. So I always think it's really unique when people tuck away watermarks somewhere unique and kind of hidden and out of the way. I think there are times where it detracts from the picture a little bit. So I try to keep it in good taste, and if I can't, I either don't use it or I throw it in the bottom corner, and it just looks like a run-of-the-mill watermark.
So defend it.
Two reasons. First off, like you said, it is an opportunity. There are accounts that exist only to repost, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't love repost accounts. I don't see the point in them. But it is what it is. I mean, you follow repost accounts, not for EDC, but you know, your meme accounts, you know, that you follow.
Yeah. They're funny.
They're funny, but they're reposting stuff, and so I get it. It is what it is. I think at the end of the day, it's exposure for the community, for the hobby, for the style of picture, whatever you want to call it, but. Yeah, I mean, I think it is an opportunity to make sure you get credit for the photo, and to make sure that people see who you are if they get shared. Now, a lot of times there's those, when you regram somebody, it's got it in the little bottom corner, and that's all good and well. Mm-hmm. But if you can buy apps that will take that off for you, and so if that's the case, then there's a chance you may not get credit. So yeah, having the watermark is a great opportunity to connect people to you directly instead of using.
Don't you think though that somebody could go edit that out?
Yeah, but I think it's one more deterrent. It's one more thing that's like especially like if it's just in the bottom corner, that's an easy like crop in the picture and it's gone. But not my most recent picture, but the one from this morning. This is Wednesday, by the way, so I posted the Oz Machine, or OZ. I don't know how.
It's my fault we didn't do it
OZ
yesterday.
Machine Company. And I put the watermark. There's a little notch out in the wood that it's sitting on, and I curved it in there so it kind of goes with it.
It's super small in the bottom.
Yeah. And so it's out of the way. It's not super noticeable. And that would be kind of a pain to go in and edit out.
Yeah.
So that's reason number one. Reason number two is I've actually had someone use my picture to scam someone. I don't know that I ever told you about this. but Jared, I forget his Instagram handle, but someone used my picture of a Scuba Steve to offer one to him, and I think they wanted like $100, which he knew was a red flag from the get go because they were pulling like 250 to 300 at the time, and he went for it, never got it. Guy cut off communication, and then he messaged me one day out of the blue, and he was like, "Hey, is this your picture?" And he sent it to me, and sure enough, it was, and it was one that was in front of the table outside on our back patio.
Did he actually send him money?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Yeah, he lost $100.
That's sad.
Yeah, so and it was one that I don't know if I did at the time, and it was one I just skipped, or if it wasn't something I'd started doing yet.
That's a better reason to defend it.
Yeah, that's why I ended with it.
Yeah.
So I've actually had someone that, I like to think that like the gear that I have is usually pretty unique. I'm trying to think of everything that I have now, and aside from my my Sabenza, everything else is pretty custom. So it's pretty unique to me, and so I'd like to think that that's a good enough deterrent, but I know it's not. And so that was something that whenever that happened, I was like, well, I want to, as often as I can, watermark pictures, so that's a red flag. And I try to make them a little bit harder to edit out, just in the event that somebody snags a picture, screenshots it, and then uses it to con. Because that's a dick move, but if I can help it out and try to maybe avoid that, I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on my phone. That's Pixelmator for the heavier editing, and then Instagram's built-in tools for some light editing, and then Fonto for watermarks. I also have a couple of random apps. I didn't list them in my notes, but Color Splash is one that's really fun if you wanted to do just a pop of one color. It'll make the whole image black and white, and then you can use your finger to go in and kind of brush out whatever you want to actually show color. So, and I've done a few posts like that. Keith, Le Mans Blue, does a lot of that. What? Am I saying a lot?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm working on that. Trying to. So Keith, Le Mans Blue does the Color Splash photos a lot. I think that might be the app that he uses too. I'm not 100% sure, Keith. If you listen to this, confirm, deny, or don't. I don't care. But that's most of my pictures. Now, if I take, and that's when I take them with my phone. Now, if I use my Sony to take some pictures, sometimes I will send them straight to my phone and edit them on my phone and post them, because I don't want to deal with sending them to my computer, opening them up in Photoshop, doing whatever editing, and then, exporting them and sending them back to my phone. It's just a pain. So again, if it's a good enough picture, exposure and all that's good, I will just send it straight to my phone from my Sony. But if I do want to, sorry I said again, if I do want to throw them on my computer, I use one of two applications for editing. I use Photoshop or Lightroom. And so to get back to your question from earlier, yes, I was using Pixelmator for my MacBook for a while, and that was working, but I started to run into some compatibility issues with people that I was sending ads to that we were running, or the folks that were building. I had some folks make some signage for one of our buildings, and I sent them the files, and even though Pixelmator has the option to export as like a PSD file, a Photoshop file, it wasn't working. And so I talked to my boss and said, hey, look, it's not cheap, but I really do think it's worth it, and I will use it for work. And like I said, I do use my MacBook for work. So when I brought it up to him, it was, at the end of the day, it was, hey, if this is going to help you do your job better, then let's get it and let's move forward. And so, yeah, I got it. And yes, now I do use it when I need to, for my stuff. But
you use it for work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also opened up, now that I've got the whole suite, I've also got Premiere, so I'm using that for video editing, which I've never done before. I don't do any videos here, but if
Yeah.
for work I do some videos, and so it's helpful to have. I'd love to do some videos of the podcast eventually. People have commented that too.
Oh my god! I
That we
don't
should,
want anyone looking
that we should
at me.
video it. God, they don't want to see you right now with your towel wrap on your head. Yeah. We're
Why video it?
well, I think that's that's another thing that people like. I don't understand that. I like to listen, but people will. It's popular. I know the Creative Exchange. She usually does it. H3H3. They put their podcast on, and it's really popular. I mean, it's a thing to do. And if I can give somebody one more medium for posting it or consuming it, I will. But there's a YouTuber that I watch that does a lot of like tips and helpful info for businesses. And she did a video a while back of should you put your podcast on YouTube? Mm-hmm. And her response was, if you're just going to put up the audio with a still image, absolutely not. And she had her reasons for that. And if you're going to... It was something like if you're going to have exclusive content or some kind of draw or there is some kind of visual... reason to do it, then go for it. But just an audio clip with a still image.
Well, it wouldn't be a still image.
Well, no, so I can load this into a video and just have our picture, or the podcast
that would be
logo.
Silly.
So I wouldn't do that, but I just don't. We don't have a dedicated enough space to video it every time.
We should make one, but I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, we're not committed. Maybe when we hit like 50 episodes.
What? That's before long.
Maybe this is episode 6.
I know. You can you tell how many people listen?
I've looked at analytics.
Maybe it should be when you get to a certain amount of people that regularly listen.
All right, guys, I need you to tell all your friends. Let's grow this beast.
Why do you want to be on video right now, Mr. No Shirt?
Yeah, I'm not wearing a shirt. It's weird.
It's not weird. You're a man. If I was wearing no shirt, that would be a little weird.
Well, no, it wouldn't. I can't see you.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So we'll have you always have to wear a shirt. And by you, I mean just anybody. You must wear a shirt to be on the podcast.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
No podcast.
We could put a sign up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be our theme.
Use our guest room. Anyways, so on my computer, getting back to that, we're getting super sidetracked.
I didn't have enough talk time, so I was trying to talk.
No, you will in just a second.
Oh.
We're getting there.
I know, my Strohs are on.
I know.
And I'm hungry.
Okay. Pump your brakes. So I mentioned I use Photoshop for photo editing, and when I take like when I do our family photos, or if I'm taking a batch of pictures for a blog post or something, I will use Lightroom. And I've had Lightroom for a while. Lightroom I actually did.
I've heard of that.
You can buy Lightroom by itself. So I did that a while back. And I've been using Lightroom for a while now, and it's great for batch editing. And if you have 100 photos and you want to sync the settings on all of them, and you want to sync the metadata and all the photo info on them, you can do that really easily. So it's really convenient. And they've got some decent photo editing tools built in. I've never messed around with presets. That's something I've always wanted to do, but I haven't. I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. Maybe I should have said that at the beginning, like as a disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
I'm not an expert. Like, I'm really not. I'm learning as I go. 9 times out of 10, if I come across something I can't do, I go to YouTube and figure it out, and then I can do it. I learned how to use Premiere in like a day because I had to make a video for work for a trade show we were going to where we needed like a video looping in the background, so I had to build a video. And I had already built it in this other shoddy video editor that no longer worked because I updated my MacBook. But anyways, that's beside the point. So Lightroom I do use from time to time. It's great for organization, and it's great for doing like batch editing. So I use that every now and then as well. But that's the software that I use to edit, phone and computer. If you have a specific like software that you use or app you like to use, I know there's tons of apps out there that do like really cool effects and all of that, and it's convenient because that app is designed to specifically do that, kind of like Color Splash, like we were talking about. If you have any of those that you like, feel free to comment them on my Instagram or leave a comment on the podcast and let me know, and I'll certainly check them out. I'm always looking for cool new photo apps. A couple others that I downloaded. LightX, that was a paid app. That was like $1 or $2, and that's a pretty unique photo editor. And then I've got some others that are, like Color Splash I mentioned. I've got a repost app. I've got the layout app from Instagram if I want to grid together like 2 or 3 or 4 photos.
I have one.
What do you have?
PicStitch.
So that's like layout, but
yeah,
one that gives you an ugly watermark and it's annoying.
No, it doesn't. Does it?
I think so. I honestly don't
pay attention to any of that stuff.
So now we are at the midpoint. Let's take a quick break and hear this word from our sponsor, which is us. Well, not our sponsor,
like,
but we're the quick word.
Oh, I thought you were about to play. I thought you were about to get all professional.
I got you. So our son is asleep. You need to be quiet.
You are always turning me down. No. Like literally.
No. Anyways, so this week's sponsor is Black Cross Leather. So I'm super stoked to have an actual sponsor. I'm stoked that it's Sam of all people. So what is Black Cross Leather? Who are they? What do they do? Black Cross Leather.
What is it?
High quality, custom, handmade leather goods. And I've seen, if you go check out his Instagram page, his handle is just at Black Cross Leather. And I've seen him make everything from knife sheaths and gear slips to like full on bags and purses and belts. And he made my camera strap. And I've been a huge supporter and a good customer of Sam's for a while. It's one guy. He just does this as a hobby.
Can you make me a leather crossbody with fringe on the bottom?
Yes.
Oh.
100% could do it.
With a zipper?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, one thing I love about Sam and Black Cross Leather is I'll get a new piece of gear and I'll shoot him a picture of it and say, hey, I need a sheath, or hey, I need like my wallet that I carry every day is from him, and it's a custom gear wallet. I messaged him and said, hey, I'd like to be able to do XYZ, and usually that day or the next morning he'll have some mock-ups drawn up and he'll say, hey, what are you thinking? And I usually go with his recommendation because he knows what he's doing and I don't. But it's crazy how unique each piece is. And now I have I have at least 5 or 6 or 7 pieces of gear from him now, like right now, that I use. I have my wallet, a couple of gear slips, a couple of knife slips. I have my sheath for my nickel blade. I have my camera strap. It's fantastic. So highly recommend checking him out if you're in the mood for anything. You need a gift, whatever the case. Everything is really unique to what you need. One thing I love about Sam, there's been times where he's made me something and, we do our best back and forth through Messenger with pictures next to a ruler, and we try to get dimensions right and everything. And there have been times where he sent me stuff and it didn't quite work, didn't quite fit, and he just refunded me. His goal is to make sure that
that's nice. Whatever
we have works. And so 99 times out of 100, I'm happy, with whatever comes in. And, the one time where, and it really was one time where something, it just didn't quite fit. It was a little too short. And Sam was like, hey man, we tried it. It didn't work. Let me refund you. So super cool. Small business. I highly recommend checking him out. If you go to Instagram, his handle again is Black Cross Leather, no spaces, no underscores, no nothing, just Black Cross Leather. And I even did a blog post about him and Black Cross Leather. It was Maker Series number 7. So if you want to go to the blog and read more about Sam and see some samples of his work, you can certainly do that. And I'll give you the URL, or you can just click the link in my Instagram bio, but it's gtdunn.com/blog/makerseries7. He was number 7. Easily one of my favorite write-ups that I've done. But again, huge shout out to Sam and Black Cross Leather, and thank you so much for being a sponsor and taking a chance with us and supporting us early on. I mean, episode 6, and we got a sponsor. And really, we could have had a sponsor on episode like 4, but
Slacked.
I wanted to do it correctly.
Oh.
I wanted to write up notes and really give him the credit he deserves.
Yeah.
Hands down, just an awesome guy. I've actually got a couple of things in the works with him as of now, so highly recommend checking him out. What are you doing? You pulling cat hair off of your microphone? Oh, God.
Yeah.
And we're back, folks. I'm just kidding. We never went anywhere.
You really should do that, where you
Listen,
put in an extra clip.
we talked about my experience as a media buyer in episode 4, I think. And let me just say that podcast media buyers want a few very specific things. And a live...
You're so serious right now.
Well, okay, this is where I can give my professional advice. But when you're looking for spots in a podcast, you want live.
Oh, you want them to talk
which
about
they're
it.
not. Which it's not like, no, we're not technically live. We're recording this right now, but you want it to be live during the podcast.
Sure.
You don't want there to be any. Okay, click a button and now we're going to play this 30-second thing.
Professional.
Well, you want it to be more natural. You want it to flow into the
Genuine.
conversation. You want it to be genuine.
I see.
So you want it to be live, and you want it to be what's called baked in, or that's the term that they use, is baked in, meaning it's part of the recording and it's not going anywhere. So in a year, you'll be able to come back and hear this same ad.
Wow.
Because some podcast companies are dynamically inserting their advertisements, meaning they've got them kind of bookmarked.
Yeah.
And once they reach a certain number of impressions or a certain number of downloads, they can pull those out and throw in whatever they want.
Wow, yeah.
Which makes the most sense to me, but in terms of what works, generally the more organic, baked in goodness is what is preferred.
Are we talking about sweet treats here?
No, we're talking about podcasts. Anyways, little FYI.
Okay.
So when I am approached about sponsorships, I do 2 things. I make sure that there's a pre-roll, and I'm not committing to anything super specific for pre-rolls. I'm just going to mention, hey, so-and-so is our sponsor today. And then I do a mid-roll, and I'm not really timing the mid-rolls right now because this is my first one, but generally we do like 30 or 60-second mid-rolls. So 60 seconds of...
Cool.
Yeah, so a little tidbit.
Cool.
So let's jump back to photos real quick. And
we're there.
You're so goofy. So I did want to kind of close out with a few tips.
Ooh.
So
okay, let me start.
Go ahead. Kidding. Yeah, no.
I don't have any tips.
And these tips aren't just specific to editing, but I mean, that's what I was thinking when I wrote them. But now that I'm reading them back, it's like,
Did you just say they're not specific to editing?
No, I said specific. The first tip is don't be scared to try new things when it comes to edits. Be adventurous, be unique. I would say, I say be unique, but it's also like, don't be afraid to be inspired. So many people will not do something. Oh, I don't want to seem like I'm copying so-and-so. Well, to me, there's that old saying, like, what, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery?
Yes.
Isn't that the saying?
Yes.
And I believe that to an extent. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go copy someone's style and then turn that into my own thing. Mm-hmm. But I think there is some benefit in emulating and really just trying to kind of get an idea of, okay, this is the mindset of this person, and this is how they get this shot, or this is how they get this style or this flair or whatever you want to call it. So don't be scared to try new things. Really explore, experiment with editing. And again, this is editing, but it's also with just framing your shots and photography in general. But when it comes to editing, don't be scared to try new things. I mean, save backups so you have originals somewhere shooting raw, so you've got that data if you're using.
I'm bad at that.
Yeah. I'm not. I do my best to make sure I've got everything backed up, but get out. Do some Googling. Figure out what you don't, if you're getting into like more serious photo editing, like my problem is half the time, I don't know what options are out there. I'm not an expert. I haven't been doing this for years, so I'm brand new to it. So I try to do some digging and find out what options are out there. So, don't be scared to try new things. What's up? You pulling up on your phone?
Well, I was just trying to back up my photos. You just reminded me.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
My next tip is you will learn from trial and error. So learn from trial and error. Don't be scared to do something just for I might mess up. Like, you'll learn from trial and error so much. And that's, for me, like I've been tinkering around in Premiere, and I'm not a video editor. I'm not really a video guy at all, but I've been tinkering around in Premiere and just kind of learning like, oh, okay, that's what this button does. And okay, that's what that effect does, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, ma'am. You look perplexed.
Can you pause?
Sure. All right. And we're back. We just had a minor, small meltdown regarding April's photos.
I mean, there's only one meltdown.
Listen, I'm in charge of all of these things, and when I don't check up on them, they get messed up somehow.
Well, maybe you should go ahead and check up on them more often. Listen.
Maybe I should.
So let's go ahead and complete.
Oh, April's getting antsy.
No, you were talking about tips. I was. I'm the co-host, so I'm trying to get you back
Keep
in line.
us on track. I like it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Oh, one other app that I use for photos, just in general, not for editing, is Google Photos, because you can have automatic backup. But be sure you open it from time to time and check that your S is not effed up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Anyways. So tips. So number 1 is don't be scared to try new things. Definitely get creative with your edits. Number 2, learn from trial and error. Learn. Just opening the software, opening a random picture, and goofing off with it will teach you so much. Cool?
Cool.
Third tip, do not over edit. Know your limits. What do you have to say about that?
Because sometimes people like have the Instagram themes, and it's like a white theme, and so like their photos are all like white and like
they frame like just white stuff, or everything is black and white?
No, like white stuff.
Okay. Well, okay, so there's a difference. That's not editing. That's just what they're taking pictures of.
Okay, but like this, like one girl that I watch on YouTube, she just did a YouTube video a while back on editing on Instagram.
Okay. I'm listening.
And she was talking about she likes to like darken or lighten, like to make the colors pop out more.
Sure.
But I felt like it looked good. I guess it wasn't over edited.
Well, so what I'm saying is like when people go ham with the filter, and then what's the one setting? I never use this.
Oh, where it makes it like more grainy looking?
Yeah, like the
shadows or something like that.
The structure.
Oh, yeah.
So like when structure is turned way up, and then you go to shadows and you bump those way up.
Oh my goodness.
And then you dip highlights, and then you go to sharpen, and then you get a picture that looks like that.
Well, it kind of looks like a drawing.
Yeah, it's not good. Now listen, people,
I kind of like it.
Oh God, I'm sorry, folks. When I say don't over edit, like don't just like natural looking photos are really good. Sometimes I over edit. I make that mistake too. But what I'm trying to say is like keep it tasteful, keep it don't go too extreme. But on the other end of that is like don't be afraid to edit too. Like don't. I used to not really touch any of the editing tools, and I would just use a little filter and I'd cut it way back.
Yeah,
because I didn't want it to be like over the top. So, there's two sides to that. It's don't over edit, and don't like blow out your pictures and make them look super grainy, and and there's some people that's their style, and that's fine. If that's your style and that's how you want to do it, that's cool. But if you do, selfie, random picture of a knife, and then all of a sudden you throw out this picture that's like hyper edited, it's just gonna look really out of place.
Yeah.
And, so I guess my tip is really just kind of understand what the boundaries of editing should be. Now, look, this is all subjective, and there's going to be people that say, well, that's stupid. I can edit however I want. And you're absolutely right. That's not the point. That's just kind of one of my tips. And kind of going along with that, my next tip is find your style. So this kind of segues perfectly into this next tip. Find your style. So if your style is, I like to make sure that my pictures are really high contrast. Or for me, I try to make sure that my pictures are all, I don't know what the right word is, but I try to make everything pretty, not flat, but I do bring up the shadows in pretty much every picture that I edit, because I don't like those deep dark spots. So I'll bump the shadows quite a bit, and I bump the brightness a little bit just to kind of give them that glossed over look that is, it kind of pops. And then a little bit of vignette never hurt anybody. So I have moments where I love vignette, and sorry, you're hearing us hit the table a lot.
Us?
And by us, I mean me, apparently. But yeah, I do use the vignette from time to time as well to give those kind of darker images. Makes the center pop a little bit. I do use my rule of thirds grid on my camera a lot, so that helps with framing, which then in turn helps with editing too. So, that tip, find your style. I think that the more you play around with it and the more you, again, go with, all these tips kind of build up. Don't be scared to try new things. And as you're trying new things, you're going to learn from trial and error. And as you're doing those, then you're going to kind of figure out where your limits are, and you're going to figure out what too edited looks like. And it's one thing to say, and just going back to that over editing, it's one thing to say, okay, this is my style, and I love these super sharp, super vibrant images, and that's fine. But there's a difference between, hey, this is my style, and whoa, that's a super over edited picture. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like someone that didn't know what they were doing got a hold of it, and so you've got to be careful. And then the last tip, and this is something that I still kind of struggle with now, is as you're taking pictures, think about the edit. Do your best to kind of pre-plan what the edit's going to be like. And this may be if someone's listening and they take pictures for a living, or do photography as a hobby. That was April setting her cup down. You were giving me crap. But this may seem like a no-brainer, but for me, I try to do as little editing as possible. I want to share pictures soon after I take them. So always think about the edit when you're taking pictures. So that could be something as simple as if you're taking a picture of a piece of gear and it's on a table, well, make sure that table's not super dusty and nasty looking, unless that's, if it's like a vintage table, that's one thing. Like I like using wood as a backdrop. A lot of my pictures have either the wood floor or the wood table or the wood table outside or a handrail or something that's made of wood. I like using wood as a backdrop. But I also want to make sure that it's not like when I take pictures on the kitchen table, I know that they always turn out very warm. The lights in here are warm. The wood is very warm. So I know that when I'm taking the picture, I know that when I share it, I'm going to have to crank down the temperature. I'm going to have to make it a cooler image to kind of balance out some of those warm tones. So I shared a picture today that I really liked. Sorry, that was my phone. If you go to my Instagram and you look at the one that was shared today, October 17th, it's a candle and my slip joint from Willem O'Kelly. And the caption is, it's just one of my favorite pictures I've taken in a while. That picture I took on my desk at work, actually. I had my Sony and I was working on a couple of other things, and I was like, it looks kind of cool right there. Propped my knife up, took a picture, and I just love how it turned out. It's one of my favorite pictures I've taken in a long, long time. There was some dust that I had to edit out of it. I didn't edit any of the coloring, any of any other aspects of the picture. I just edited out some dust on the table, and I wish I would have thought of that. That would have saved me a step. I could have just swiped my hand across it and gotten that stuff off. But that's something that will save you a lot of trouble with editing and sometimes keep a picture from being ruined. I've had some pictures that would have been really, really cool, but there was just this one thing that was in the way, or, you know, the light looked weird on it or whatever. Are those good tips?
Yeah.
Are you going to use any of them?
I don't edit.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, if you're listening, I hope you'll take some of those to heart.
Who, me?
No.
Oh.
People
The
listening.
the
I'm not
listeners?
Yeah, you're a co-host. I'm not.
Yeah.
If you're listening, I know you're listening. So yeah, I hope that was even slightly entertaining. If you do try any of these apps, the ones on your phone or, you know, Photoshop or Lightroom on the computer, let me know how you like them. Let me know what you think. I am a huge fan of them. If you try any of these tips, or if you think of these tips next time you're taking a picture, let me know that you're using them and they helped.
Don't forget to enter the giveaway.
Yeah, so be sure to enter the giveaway. Listen to episode 5 for rules on how to do that. You're going to go to the episode 5 post on my feed, and it says gearing up, and it says episode 5, so it's pretty hard to miss.
Everybody likes coffee and beard oil.
Yeah, so you will have the chance to win bag of coffee, beard oil, and a couple other goodies.
All right.
And I'll cover shipping in the U.S. Must be following. But you have to go to that picture and comment. Do you remember what we told him to comment?
No.
Wow. She doesn't even listen, guys.
No, I do. I don't remember. I have a horrible memory.
Yeah, so go to my episode 5 picture and comment your grail item. So whatever it is that you drooled over, lusted over, and you finally got, or you still want and you haven't gotten yet.
Oh.
Knife, flashlight, pen.
Yep.
Whatever the case. Cool?
Cool.
Be sure to rate on iTunes and Google Play. Subscribe. Leave us a review. It really, really helps us out. We've already gotten 7 or 8 or 10 reviews.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh.
appreciate you if you've already done that.
But don't leave a review if it's a bad one.
Yeah, just shoot me a message and I'll block you.
No.
Just kidding. Don't forget the giveaway will go through this week, and then when we record episode 7, we'll pick a winner during that episode, just like we did last time. If we only have one entry, that person wins automatically. If we don't have any entries, then come on, you 9 people that are listening to us. We're going to keep doing this. So, yeah, you might be lucky, and you might win. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, we're going to go make some dinner and watch the Astros. They're playing the ALCS, American League Championship Series. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's game... What game is it? Do you know?
4.
Very good. It's game 4 tonight. So we're hoping the Stros win. They've been playing for like 20 minutes now. So we're going to go turn it on and eat dinner and watch the Astros.
Yeah.
All right. We will talk to you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya later.
All right. Bye.